Is Pantera's Cemetery Gates their best track ever? That's what we're going to find out today when we watch a live performance of Cemetery Gates recorded back in 1997. Now, according to Wikipedia, Cemetery Gates is about lamenting the death of a female lover and the prospect of dying or committing suicide and rejoining her in the afterlife. Now, that sounds a little bit like simping to me, but since it's the boys from Pantera, we're going to let it slide. Now, Pantera's guitarist Dimebag Darrell suffered one of the most tragic deaths in the music industry. He was shot on stage while playing in 2004. I remember that day well. I was studying music in college. I was in the MIDI lab at the time I heard the news. And I'm actually the same age that Dime was when he died, 38. So hopefully I can make it through this year. Now, along the way as we listen to this track, I'm going to be pointing out some of the music theory that's used, things like the scales, the chords, and the keys. Perhaps that will unlock the secret of this track's greatness. Dat and WAP juice. It's so good when it hits your lips. Okay, let's do this. So dark. There's Phil Anselmo on vocals. Oh, there he is. It's like he's sitting/laying down on stage. Okay, all right. We got to make a couple notes about what's going on. So we're in the key of F sharp minor here, which is a bit of an uncommon key. There's songs like Crazy Train and others in F sharp, but, you know, it'd be nice to hear more songs in this key. So what's happening here is we have the 1 chord, F sharp minor, then we're moving to the 3 chord, A major there, and then we have E after that, the flat 7, and then it moves to the flat 6 D on this beautiful sort of major 7 add 9 sound. Actually, I scratched that. We're going to call this like, well, let's see, I'll call it a 6-9 with a major 7th, a 69 chord. And that's not a surprise to hear Dime play that, because I would say Dimebag Darrell has some of the most sexual energy as an undercurrent or an undertone in his playing and his style. I mean that in the best possible way. Okay, let's back up just a little bit and hear this transition. That's just like a heavenly moment right there. So we have this beautiful kind of heavenly Lydian climb that happens. I'm such a sucker for this sound. The Lydian mode sounds like that in the chord progression, major 1 to major 2. And so with the pedal tone, we hear this. Keeps going in the studio recording. Okay, that's a really nice moment there. And let's hear what happens next. Dynamic crescendo. Whoa! Our dreams have been dashed by dissonance. Okay, so that riff right there has a lot of chromaticism or notes outside the key. Pantera were masters of chromaticism. It's a very hard thing to control, but let's see. How many notes is he playing outside the key there? The riff's something like... So he's got this note out of the key, this note out of the key, and also this note out of the key. If you think about this as A minor pentatonic, that shape we all know, that's kind of what Dime's thinking here, but he's adding in the flat 5. That's pretty common, you know, but then, actually it's really common. But the flat 6, whoa, that's like the least common note you would expect in a blues scale. And then he also has the 2nd degree. Pretty cool. Now we're back to F sharp with more chromaticism. That squeal's insane. That's an insane squeal. Steve Vai would be proud. Phil's back to laying down on stage. I think he had some back trouble back in these days. There we go, Phil. Give it to me. Wow. Phil Anselmo is on point in the show. His voice sounds incredible. Let's just hear a little bit more of that again. Hot to leave you. What I like about what's happening in Phil's voice is that there's this clash of like the classical and the contemporary. You know, he's singing really aggressive metal style, but then he also has this sort of classical, trained thing happening. You know, he's hitting these high notes and he's got good vibrato. That's just a cool sound. Now the chord progression for the chorus is, let's see, we got F sharp minor, A. This part here, it's like the D chord, and then I think he does something like that, which is like an A over C sharp. That's a pretty cool chorus. It's just the same as the intro, really. So this is just smart composition, repetition and development. You guys have heard me say this like 69 times by now. But it's a way of reinventing previous material and making it move forward. This riff just gets you amped every time. Give me those squeals. Now, I know Dimebag had his tech switching all of his sounds backstage, which is really nice. If you had to do like some tap dancing, right, on the floor hitting all those pedals while worrying about your squeals changing to the verse clean tone, that'd be a mess. Hear that snare like echoing. Feels just like collapsed. He rises like a phoenix for the chorus. Look at Dimebag's face right there. He knows he just got away with chromatic murder. Look at how he changed that little lick right here. Let's check that. Right here. He loves it. This riff for a chorus is so bold. As I said before, it's extremely chromatic or outside of the key. But then the harmonized vocal lines, I think, kind of bring it back together. Very clever. Dimebag's tone, I want to mention too, is just absolutely incredible here. It sounds like there's 4 of him playing. They're really able to duplicate that live sound, or I should say the studio sound live. I mean, it's really impressive. Solo. Okay, let's be honest. How much weed and booze does Dimebag have on board at this point? You know, I mean, who knows? And the fact that he's able to stay super dialed in on point, I mean, that solo was flawless. It's incredible what he's able to do in his altered state. Maybe that was just kind of like, after a while, felt normal and natural to him, though. That could be it. Variation on this riff with some chugs. Dissonance. What does Phil have there? Were those panties or extremely large whitey tighties that some dude threw up? Who knows? Yes.
Thank you.
Give it to me. Little Picardy third ending on a major note. Wow, what a performance. That was just extremely well done. I think Pantera really had something special, the interplay between each member of the band, you know, how the bass player and the guitarist, their parts at the beginning, how those complement one another, is just really, really well done. Now, if you want to learn how to solo better like Dimebag Darrell, you got to check out my brand new course I just released on how to solo from beginner to pro. It's going to teach you various techniques and the fastest way to kind of just get going with some leads, how to solo over chord progressions that are simple and more complex, how to do neoclassical solos, and much more. Now, if you want to go really deep, you can check out my Patreon page below. That's where I have all of my YouTube lessons, where I do all my transcriptions for these videos, all the tabs for all my courses, everything I've ever done, basically. That's if you really want to sell your soul and become a guitar god.